Hello and welcome everybody to another Secrets of Strixhaven draft video. I'm Paul Cheon. Today we are sitting in the Platinum rank division. The rankings have reset, and this is actually my first video back from Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven. MagicCon Las Vegas was incredible. Congratulations to Nathan Stoyer for being a two-time Pro Tour champion along with World Champion. So if they ever bring back the Hall of Fame, you better believe that he is going to be one of the first ballot Hall of Famers to make it in. So yeah, it was a really great weekend, but now I am ready to get back into some Secrets of Strixhaven Limited. For those of you wondering, I did play the Arena Direct over the weekend between rounds of the Pro Tour whenever I could sneak some matches in, and I was able to get 2 collector boxes of Secrets of Strixhaven. The coverage team in general won 10, with Mani taking down 4. So shout out to Mani Devuti. But yeah, here we are. Let's hop into draft and see where this goes. Now, before we hop in, did want to say that this video is brought to you by TCGplayer.com. Go to TCGplayer.com for all your Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. Make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before purchasing any booster boxes of Magic the Gathering product or singles for your collection. Also, check out HeavyPlay.com for premium Magic the Gathering Magic the Gathering products, including deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, life pads, and much more. Go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon to get 10% off your first order. You know, you spend a week without doing an ad read, you just kind of forget how to say all the things. Sorry to you, Heavy Play. All right, pack one, pick one. What do we have? There's Soup, there's 2 colors, there's even some Witherbloom aggro that I've seen some players have. Nathan Stoyer notably went 2-1, first picking a Witherbloom card rather. But this pack does not have a great rare. We have Brush Off for counter magic, Practiced Scrollsmith, which is a really just good 2-mana creature, one of the better uncommons. Then at common, we have Visionary's Dance, Wilt in the Heat, and Send in the Pest. But I do think the best cards in this pack are Brush Off and Practice Scrollsmith. This is just a better generic card, whereas this goes into, you know, the multicolor control decks. All right, you know what? Practice Scrollsmith, we've done a lot of lower hold stuff. I feel like just going big. You know, I just feel like doing it. So I'm going to do it, and then we'll see where this goes. All right, pack 1, pick 2. What do we have? Rare missing out of the pack. Bunch of various Witherbloom cards. If I wanted to go lower hold, I could certainly take Spirit Mascot or Wilt in the Heat. What am I going to take? The best common in the pack here, I believe, is a Last Gasp, so I can certainly take that. I think that's what I'm going to take here. Emil is just okay. And, you know, Render Speechless, certainly fine if I wanted to go Silver Quill. But let's go ahead and take Last Gasp. All right, pack 1, pick 3. What do we have? We have Muse Seeker. I don't love this one as much. It can be good if you have a very spell-heavy deck. But I think I prefer Essence Scatter over it just because this is kind of a guaranteed early piece of interaction when you draft the control decks. Noting that there's a Kirill history buff, which would be nice if I wanted to draft some kind of a lore hold deck. And then if I wanted to be Silver Quill, of course, you could take something like an Inkling Mascot. But yeah, I mean, totally fine pack with a bunch of different options here. But we're going to go with Essence Scatter here. Lock in all the counter magic here if we can. And pack 1, pick 4 gives us access to another Spirit Mascot for all the lore hold gamers. But I think I'm going to take Quandrix Charm. I haven't actually drafted a base Quandrix deck before. Or I don't draft it all that often, and it is a powerful card. I just think counterspells in general in this format are quite strong, so we could be perhaps some kind of a Sultai deck, or maybe a blue-green deck splashing a bunch of different colors, depending, but let's go ahead and take this. And then moving on to pack 1, pick 5, yeah, I mean, we are seeing certainly a fair number of red cards for the lore hold deck. Now, Heated Argument and Rebel Rouser are very good in lore hold. Quick Study is also totally fine, but given that I took the Quandrix Charm, I think Paradox Gardens is a decent pickup. I think Quick Study is worse than basically most of the other card draw spells in the format. I don't think it's bad. I mean, I'll certainly play it, but I think it's worse than the Paradoxical Equation, I believe, the 5-mana draw 3 spells card, and so I just don't put a super high priority on this. All right, Mind into Matter, pick 6. Okay, well, at least we were able to identify the open color combination, right? I mean, seeing a pick 6 Mind into Matter has to mean something. This card's sweet. Let's go. Well, by the way, you might be wondering, where are the creatures? Don't worry about it. All right, so moving on to pack 1, pick 7, we have Hydro Channeler, Fractalize, Mind Roots. I guess I'll take Hydro Channeler now, noting that Prismari cards are also somewhat open. Like Elemental Mascot I do like in the Prismari decks, but we got the Mind into Matter. I'm going to take the Hydro Channeler as a 2-drop that can allow us to splash cards like the Last Gasp. I don't think the card's like incredible by any means, but it's a totally fine filler level card for this style of deck. All right, moving on to pack 1, pick 8. We have, Cuboid Colony. All right. I mean, Quandrix is super open. I definitely was interested in these lands. Like Stormcarved Coast, oftentimes you're going to be splashing red. And Titan's Grave, I already have a Last Gasp worth splashing. But given that I'm specifically blue-green, I feel like the Colony makes a lot of sense. Especially, it works really nicely with all the counter magic that I have here. But this is certainly a pretty good indication of what might be open. All right, moving on to pack 1, pick 9. There is a Wild Hypothesis, which I don't love. I think I'm just going to take one of these lands. I'm just going to take a red-white land. Like, Wild Hypothesis is pretty replaceable. So I just feel like if I potentially pick up some Converge cards, like a free land that comes into play untapped seems pretty good. Here I'll take Glorious Decay over Pick Your Poison, a card that I'm not super interested in main decking. And then there's Elite Seize the Spoils here as well. So not seeing anything that I would like to table, unfortunately. There is an Elemental Mascot, so that does beg the question, like, can I consider just being blue-red instead of blue-green? We'll see. All right, and now we have pack 2, pick number 1. There's a Geometer's Arthropod, but I don't think I'm going to first pick that. We have a couple of other good options. I think I'm looking at Disdainful Stroke versus Divergent Equation. And, you know, I mean, we already have one good late game card, but we have so many spells. I think Divergent Equation is going to be the perfect top-end card for a deck like this, just to be able to turn all of our, get all of our spells back. So I do think that's really nice. Removal, I certainly need, but I feel like I'll be able to pick it up, given that I'm going to play a bunch of colors. And I think the Geometer's Arthropod, given that it felt like Quandrix was somewhat open, I think there's a pretty good chance this card tables. But now, if I do pick up the Arthropod, I would consider playing cards like the Wild Hypothesis. But let's take the Divergent Equation here first and move on. Pack 2, pick 2, there is a Restoration Seminar, which is a powerful card, but double white is kind of tough. It's a really good card, though, if I pick up enough permanents. I mean, it's either that or like a Landscape Painter. All right, you know what? Landscape Painter is cool and all, but I'm going to take this. And it is a nice win. The thing is, I need permanence and mana fixing for white to be able to actually make this work. So it's a little bit dicey. And again, I'm not necessarily locked into blue-green. I could be blue-red splash green too. And that's certainly on the table. Especially like given this pack, we're not seeing any blue-green cards, right? But there is a Prismari Charm, which is quite good. And there's also a Run Behind, which would be better, which is a little bit more flexible because it goes in all blue decks. Yeah, I think for that reason, I'll take Run Behind. I think Prismari Charm in blue-red is like a little bit better, but I don't think it's enough better for me to all of a sudden decide that I want to have blue-red as my base color instead of keeping it open to a blue-green deck here. All right, pack 2, pick 4. There is a Wander Off for additional removal, which this deck certainly needs. Not seeing a lot of good blue-red stuff or blue-green stuff for that matter. Essence Knit Scholar is a very good Witherbloom card. So yeah, I guess I'll take Wander Off just because it addresses a need that this deck has. So let's go ahead and take that. But yeah, pack 2 not being super great here. Seeing a bunch of random low-level cards here. I can take Thornfit Striker or Shopkeeper's Bane. Not really a life gain deck necessarily. I wonder if I care more about just having... I mean, this does have Ward 1. The thing is, I don't want to play either card in this type of deck. So I'll take that and see where this goes. Pack 2, pick 6. Another, man, these packs are... Whew, you guys are taking all the good cards. Guess I'll take Banishing Betrayal for cheap interaction. There's also a Heated Argument, but I think, 2 bounce spells is fine, especially when I have so many good, expensive cards. So any cheap interaction is going to be mostly fine because I'm trying to ramp into Divergent Equation and Mind into Matter. Wow, all the Elemental Mascots, Glimpse of Nature, busted modern card back in the day. Here for me, it's between Hydro Channeler and Fractal Mascot. I think I'll take Fractal Mascot. I already have a Channeler. My 2-drop situation is looking pretty good, but I just feel like I need a random way to close out games. And for that reason, I will take the Fractal Mascot rather. Pack 2, pick 8. I'm not a big fan of Textbook Tabulator, but there is an Arcane Omens, and we are definitely going to be slamming that. We're already looking to splash some of these black cards, and this is quite good in the the control mirrors. And here, oh my gosh, the 2-drop did not table. That's rough. All right, well, now that I picked up the Arcane Omens, and I did take a Fractal Mascot already, I guess I'll take another Hydro Channeler here. But wow, I really thought I thought there was a really good chance that we were the only Quandrix drafter. And that is not the case. And that is certainly hurting us here. So it looks like we're going to probably be some kind of a Sultai deck here. Let's see where this goes. Oh my gosh. I mean, Improvisation Capstone is one of the best rares in the format. Hold on. I mean, look, it's not even like... Maybe I should have taken the Elemental Mascots, but it's not, yeah, it's not even like green has been that open. Do I just go back to this and splash the green and the black? Yeah, I'm doing it. You gotta be flexible. You gotta be flexible. All right, Improvisation Capstone it is. Let us make some adjustments here. Always be ready to make adjustments, you know? Always be ready. All right. Cuboid Colony probably, these cards probably don't make it here now. All right. All right. Well, look, the Hydro Channeler helps us ramp into it at least. All right, pack 3, pick 2. I mean, given that I have all these X spells, I think Rubble Rouser just does a lot of work. Not only does it kind of, you know, give us a good blocker, but ramps us to some of these expensive cards. So let's go ahead and take that. Burst Lightning is a wonderful, cheap, interactive spell. Definitely like it over Artistic Process. Given that we have Equation, Capstone, and Mind into Matter, the more good, cheap interaction, the better, is kind of where I'm at. So, gonna slam Impractical Joke here over Archaic Agony and seize the spoils. I don't think I'm gonna play the Seminar, though. And I don't think this one's gonna make it in. All right, Stress Stream is fantastic. Did people just decide not to be... I mean, you know, honestly... Prismari seemed a little bit open, but like in my experience, Prismari ends up just generally being a little bit more cut than Quandrix, which is why I was leaning towards being Quandrix, and we got that late Mind into Matter, but, you know, make the adjustments that you need. All right. You know what I would really love, though? A Potioner's Trove. Fractalize, I don't care for. Dual Tactics, yeah, these cards I don't care about. I guess I'll take a Wild Hypothesis in case I need a win condition. Oh, Violent Outburst? Okay. Well, I guess Blue-Red was kind of where we were supposed to be. Take Elemental Mascot here over Stadium Title Mage, I think. Just more things to block early. And I have several expensive cards to try to win the game with. Our mana is definitely not great. Hydro Channeler and Seize the Spoils are going to have to go a long way here. Yeah. Banishing Betrayal, sure. I mean, there's definitely other soup drafters, but they're taking all the lands. Right? Like, look at this. And you know what I think when it comes to situations like this? I hope they just have no playable cards in their deck, you know? That's what I'm really hoping for. Take another Mascot. Oh, Seize the Spoils. I love the fact that we picked that up, and I like the fact that we picked up the Goblin Glassrite. So those are some really, really important pickups here to allow us to ramp into some of our late game cards here. Okay, so let's take a look. I will play the Sundown Pass here. I think it's relatively free. It's just the red source that every now and then gives us a white source for the Converge on the Arcane Omens. These are all expensive cards here. In fact, they're more like 7 drops, really. All right, I think I'm going to cut Fractal Mascot here, only because my mana is bad. Like, the thing is, I can play green and black spells because I also have Hydro Channeler as a way to help me cast those cards. Whereas with the Fractal Mascot, I just need to naturally draw, like, a Seize the Spoils for a treasure or a forest. So I think this is the creature suite that I'm going to keep here. It's not a lot, but I'm hoping that some of these other cards can help me get there. Actually, from that perspective, I should maybe consider playing some number of these as well. I don't know how many, though. The only issue is X spells do not work well with Improvisation Capstone. But it might still be necessary as a way for me to actually close out the game, because I didn't pick up any Snarl Songs or Visionary Dances. All right, I'm going to try to minimize the splash here, so why don't we cut Last Gasp? because it is a cheap removal spell that's on the splash, and we picked up Burst Lightning, Impractical Joke, and Vibrant Outburst. I do like Wander Off as an unconditional removal spell, so I think that's good. Maybe we can cut one Banishing Betrayal. I kind of like all the other spells, though. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 interactive spells, a big card draw spell. Seize the Spoils also helps us dig. Capstone, of course, helps us win in the late game, and maybe like one Wild Hypothesis. Just like so that we can find it and buy it back in the late game if we need, but not going too crazy with it. You know, win conditions are overrated. Why don't we just do something like this? I want to have tons of blue and red sources. I have like 2 black cards, 1 swamp, double hydro channeler, and 3 ways to make treasures. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways to get black mana, which I think is fine. I guess I can go up to like 1 more swamp potentially, but I definitely don't want to play more than the Paradox Gardens because I don't have any way to search for the forest here. I'm not really sure which one I should cut. I'm gonna just keep an island because the Hydro Channeler lets me cast all my other stuff. So I think it's more important that I get a turn 2 Hydro Channeler, but I think it's close. But let's give this a whirl. Doesn't have all the mana fixing that I'd like, but I still think the deck looks pretty nice. All right, now before round 1 starts, I wanted to say that if you've been enjoying this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Big shout out to all the patrons. Really appreciate your support. Access to the Patreon gives you access to my Discord channel, which I believe is a really great way to join a wonderful group of folks also looking to up their limited game. Lots of benefits depending on the tier. Check it out. All right. Our hand is great. We have Impractical Joke, Run Behind, Seize the Spoils. Oh, wow, you can actually cast this without a target. I didn't know that. All right, there's the Channeler, so no mana issues, at least in our very first game, so that's nice. All right, what am I discarding, though? Got the Seize the Spoils here. Certainly not a land, right? Teacher's Pest is the play from the opponent. And Oracle's okay, that's fine. This just gains them life. This got Menace, right? Yeah. I mean, I have the Divergent Equation to get a bunch of stuff back anyways. But like the important thing here was just making sure that I had a way that I just keep hitting my land drops, and I feel like Run Behind will definitely be able to kill a bunch of things, right? Whereas that's not the case for the removal spell. Here we have access to Elemental Mascot, which doesn't do that much here, although I mean, if I set up for it next turn, obviously that's quite nice. There's also Mind into Matter, which I can play for 4 to help me draw a bunch of cards, but I already have so many expensive things, and I really want to just be able to fire off the Improvisation Capstone next turn if possible. So I think I'm just going to play the Mascot. This, like, in a pinch, I can still cast Run Behind, but what I can do here is actually just, whoa. You draw a card for each creature you control. You gain 4 life for each creature you control. So they draw 2 cards? Okay. So I'm just going to block the Teacher's Pest. And they're choosing not to attack. All right. So let's just fire this off. That triggers the Mascot. We get a card here to play at some point too. All right. Let's play this. Let's play you. Let's bounce you. Oh yeah, look at all this value. Do I want land? Yeah, I'll take lands. Alright. Improvisation Capstone online. Wait, when does this cast? Beginning of the first main phase. So I do get to draw the land, which is important. Alright. Aaron, Teacher's Pest, Burrock, Banemaker. I mean, they're doing a bunch of stuff. But it's a bit small ball. I'm still going to block here. They will drain me, and this keeps pumping this, I suppose. Alright, Capstone, time to go off. Am I gonna deck myself? Look at this. Alright, we... Okay. What does this say? Okay. Let's Burst Lightning. You. Wander off. You. Oh my goodness. And this is why Capstone is one of the best mythics in the format. In case you were wondering, because I'm sure all of you were. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that was great. That was a wonderful feeling, right? Just turbo ramp into the Capstone. You know, one thing I like about this draft is just the fact that we try to just stay very flexible throughout the course of the draft and kind of left ourselves open to, if we do open something busted, we can just kind of go in that color combination, and it's been working out. All right, 1-0. Opponent on the play here. I have 4 lands, Elemental Mascot, and Burst Lightning, and a Mind into Matter. I will keep this, but it's a little speculative, okay? I'll keep this, but it's a little speculative. I need a blue source. I have more blue sources than anything, but I do have 4 lands, and I do have this Burst Lightning. And I certainly want to fire that off here on the Studious First Deer. Oh, seize the spoils. Excellent. I mean, this is part of the equation in terms of, you know, like the mana fixing that we want for our deck. So that's certainly fine. Send in the Pest. Okay. A lot of natural 2-for-1s for the opponent. We'll pitch the Hydro Channeler. Draw an island. That's fine. I wanted to keep the Mascot just because this also gives me value and is a win condition. But I wanted to keep lands because I have the Mind into Matter. But I think it was a relatively close decision there. Is there a life gain removal Foolish Fate? You got me. I would really love to just find a random play this turn, because the only issue right now is, like, does this put a land into play? Oh, okay. So I can actually put the Paradoxical Gardens into play. Okay, I guess I'll just do that. I'll just do this for 4. And then I have Hydro Channeler versus Improvisation Capstone. It puts it into play tapped. I guess I'll just put the land in. This guarantees that I get to play out the Capstone, whereas if I play the Channeler, they can randomly kill it. And I think that would be very bad. Mind Roots. Okay. No lands for you. I mean, discarding Vibrant Outburst is not great, but I do have the Divergent Equation. Wow. Hitting a counterspell? Certainly not great. Oh, man. Can I cast it on this? I don't know how that works. Maybe I should have. No, was that a mistake? I might have punted there, actually. I was so afraid of getting my Improvisation Capstone countered. But that obviously just doesn't matter. Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, that was probably my bad. 2 cards. Yeah, I really want that counterspell too. Oh well. Grapple with Death, okay. I guess if I just hit a bunch of removal, it's not great. But I want to hit my, like, creatures, obviously. Okay, Seize the Spoils is fine. Cast this. Wait. Okay, it doesn't really work anyways. Alright. Oh, or did I need to stack it the other way? Yeah. Gosh, Paul! I am doing everything in, like, the worst order possible. Okay. You know what? Resolving these mythics probably should just be a little bit more patient here, you know? There's Burst Lightning. I mean, I can certainly get some stuff back, but I don't have to. Like, I can do it for 2. Remember, I only have 9 cards left in my library. So if they just, like, keep finding removal spells, that can put me in trouble. Cheerful Osteomancer. Okay. Studious First Year, okay. Alright, I'm gonna wait on the equation. Okay, they hit a blue source. Arcane Omens. Of course, we cast it. Stress Dream. Target you. Cast that. Put an island into our hand. Getting dangerously low on cards. Get the trigger there. Get the Terrafractal out of their hand. 1, 2. Attack for 11. And pass. 1, 2. I can Rubble Rouse. I can cast this for 3. I guess I could have triggered this again. That would have been fine. But this should get it done. Alright, what do we want to get? Burst Lightning. That goes to the face. 1, 2, 3, I suppose. Yeah, and this should put them dead. I almost decked myself, and I probably should have gotten back a counterspell. But yeah. All we have to do is just like tap, tap the Educator, 3 damage to their first year, attack, Burst Lightning face. More than enough ways to actually close out the game. Alright, 2-0 with our very few win condition control deck. I will say I didn't resolve my Improvisation Capstone perfectly, but now I know. Alright, now I know. I think. Alright, gonna keep this 2-lander here. We have a turn 2 Hydro Channeler. Still needs a few more lands to get things going, though. Oh, that was perfect. Seize the Spoils, really tying the room together here. Just don't kill my Channeler. Like with a Vibrant Outburst or something. Alright, so that is an Expressive Fire Dancer. I'm discarding one of my win conditions. Maybe that's not good. Yeah, and I'm going to do everything in my power here to, like, not fire off, to not utilize my treasure, right? So, this could be a more tempo-oriented, aggressive version of Blue-Red. It's possible, especially given that they have the Expressive Fire Dancer. So, really just going to be looking to keep up my land drops here. I did find Stress Dream. I don't actually know which one of these to kill. This is the one that's a little scarier, I think. So let's just fire it off here. I'm going to take the land. Although, admittedly, like, I do want to, like, I do need my win conditions too. I'm 1 mana off from the Capstone, though. Now, I will say, if they do keep up Counter Magic, like, if they just pass with 4 mana up, then I will probably not go for it. Or, I mean, even Thunderdrum Soloist. Ooh, Muse Seeker. Okay, I should go for the Capstone. Alright, stabilize us. Oh man, I hit Divergent Equation, which really sucks. I'm at 16. Whatever. Alright. I'm gonna go after the thing that can deal the most damage to me, because now that I have the Capstone going, I feel like even if they draw a card off the Muse Seeker, I just have late game inevitability, so that's what I'm going for. Like, I guess I don't even technically need the divergent equation just because I have Capstone going. Deluge Virtuoso, yeah. They're trying to be aggressive here. Absolutely. Attacking us. Preparing, keeping up 2 mana. Alright, Capstone. Or rather, yep, Capstone. What do we got? Wow, that was a lot of stuff. Okay, this the level these don't matter. Let's go after that. Okay, jumping doesn't matter for that. They do get to loot, so that's of course relevant. Discarding Tome Blast, sure. Rebel Rouser enters. We can discard Mountain. We hit Vibrant Outburst. Hydro Channeler. We got Elemental Mascot down. So we have plenty of blockers. I don't actually need to cast anything. And we have a win condition available as well. And we can even use that to... Wow, we hit a lot of lands, by the way. We can even protect this if we need. But I do need to be protective of like my actual ways to win the game here, so... I'm saving all my spells to deal more damage on my turn. Alright. Arcane Omens. Ugh. That also is not good with that card. Well, well, well. Let's see. 2 cards in hand for the opponent. I could just do this on this. Oh, they wanted it on top. Okay. And we'll keep a land in our hand and pass. 10 cards left. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lands. 13 lands. So 4 lands left in our deck. We also have a Burst Lightning. Again, like I mentioned before, our deck is definitely light on ways to kill people. Okay. Wow, so 5 mana do nothing. Okay. We do have a counterspell that I don't want to hit. We don't need Mind into Matter. We have 7 cards left in our library. Alright, drew the Burst Lightning naturally, which is of course very, very nice. Oh, did I forget? I think I forgot to ping my opponent with a Rebel Rouser. That was a mistake. Run behind. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if, like, at this point I'm supposed to not run out the Paradigm spells. Just so that, like, I can actually kill my opponent. I have 7 damage that I can do to my opponent. And, of course, I need to remember to utilize my Rebel Rouser. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to cast the Paradigm anymore. Just for the purposes of not decking myself, right? 5 cards left, I don't think I need to. I hope that 1 point of damage doesn't end up mattering. That would be a shame. Interesting. The question is, do I want to kill that or let this block happen? Because if I save this, I can maybe do more damage next turn. See, they have 2 cards. I'm going to wait. Oh, they didn't take any damage? All right, that's good. Good for me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 lands. So 2 lands left and a counter spell. And Elemental Mascot on the bottom. Pigment Wrangler. That's a good one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that certainly makes things interesting. I guess they can just blink the Pigment Wrangler, huh? If I use Vibrant Outburst on the Conductor. But I need to kill the Conductor anyways. But the question is, do I just wait till my turn? Yeah, I mean, I have infinite mana. The real question here is if I should go for Burst Lightning on this thing. I think the answer is yes. I will exile 2 cards, though. We'll note. So I have 2 cards left. Okay, that's a brush off. Will I have enough to finish things off? That's 6 damage coming in. It's going to be super close. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So all the lands. I don't know what the last card is left in my deck. Is it Seize the Spoils? No, it's not Seize the Spoils. This gets my opponent to 6 end of turn. And then I have Brush Off available, which I will certainly use. Okay. Oh, that counts. Decline for now, because they have mana up. Let's play Goblin Glasswright. Let's Craft with Pride. Let's bounce you. Because I have Brush Off up still. So they need to have like 2 interactive spells here. Which is kind of tough to have. And then next turn, actually, I can draw the Mascot and I can play this for an extra Opus trigger if I want. Okay. Even if they kill my Mascot, they die. Woo! Hey, look, this is what happens when you don't have a lot of win conditions, right? You're going to be up lots and lots of cards, but it's going to be a little scrappy. And you're just going to have to believe that one of your elemental mascots is going to survive. And yeah, that's what it took for this one. Okay, but you know what? We're 3-0. We're 3-0. All right, on the play here, 3 different colors of mana. I'm heavier on blue than anything, and I do have Arcane Omens. I am going to believe that I'm going to draw one of 8 islands, Goblin Glasswright, or 2 Seize the Spoils. Okay? So lots of good outs here. And being able to turbo out Arcane Omens is so strong to the point where, just, you know, mathematically, I just feel like unless I get Silverquill aggroed out, we'll be okay. Oh, Rubble Rouser also gives me redraws, which is nice. Here I will discard Brush Off. And we found Impractical Joke. Of course, if I draw red cards, it can also just be removal spells too, right? They get to kind of free roll an attack here. I'll take it. The mana from the Arcane Omens is just so strong, you know? 6 cards in hand for the opponent. Scolding Administrator is the play. And we drew an island. So that lets me Arcane Omens for 4 potentially, but I think I can wait and just maybe kill the Administrator. Because I can't do it for the full amount, right? So let's kill the Administrator. And then... It is actually interesting which of these two I play out. Elemental Mascot is nice though because I'm setting up for a big play next turn. And then it gives me another card. Alright, I'll take the extra card. Now, next turn they can play Render Speechless, which would be quite nice. And that would... Okay, it's just an Inkling Mascot. Hopefully this turn isn't too bad, because next turn we certainly do want to fire off Arcane Omens. Okay, fair enough. And I'm just not going to exile. Like, I'd rather just keep the mascot in my grave. I want to keep the spells in my graveyard, and I would rather keep the lands in this in my graveyard to be able to cast Arcane Omens. Right, so no hand for the opponent. But they do have 2 creatures in play. We got a Dust Speaker and a Silver Quill, and they're top decking. Hopefully we can stabilize this board. Foolish Fate on Rubble Rouser. Sure. Hydro Channeler is a blocker. And I also have Divergent Equation, which I don't need to fire off just yet. And they're getting rid of a lot of good action cards, which I don't know if I love. Like, you just need almost any spell here to kind of stabilize this position. We just need to clear up the board here. Please miss. I need them to like miss for like a turn. If I draw a land, I can equation for 2, which is pretty good. Oh my gosh, that is literally the opposite of a miss. Oh, that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. How do I want to do this? Man, that was a massive miss on the Seize the Spoils. That's a tough break for sure. Like, being able to hit a bunch of lands would have been amazing there, right? And now we're on kind of Improvisation Capstone or bust here, so that's kind of my game plan. Yep. And they get to start exiling things out of my graveyard too. Yeah, it's a rough spot to be in for sure. All right, let's deal with the Silver Quill. Again, I'm keeping the land up here, just so that I can play the Capstone. Now the question is, do I want to play the Capstone, right? If I don't hit an interactive spell, I just die immediately. If I do, I go to 2, and then I have this going. I do have the Capstone to get back like an Impractical Joke, but like they have 1 card in hand. I'm just gonna go for the Capstone. Hopefully we hit. That was just terrible. These X spells are just actually the nut low. Alright, whatever. No, did you find a removal spell here too? This was on top. Okay, alright, Cost of Brilliant. I mean, look, this was just like a fine Silver Quill deck that beat us before we got to get things going. We just needed like a moment's reprieve, and we didn't get it. We didn't get it, right? And basically, the important turn there was me going Seize the Spoils. And I was really hoping to either find cheap interaction or a land to be able to cast Run Behind. And because I wasn't able to, I just took 1,000,000 damage. So me missing on the Seize the Spoils there on a land is probably what cost us that game. Also, this is probably not the best Improvisation Capstone deck with like counter spells and X spells. The card is still incredibly powerful, but yeah. Like, not as good with some of those X spells. Like, that was a really bad hit off of the Capstone. Alright, Slumbering Trudge turn 1, sure. It's going to take some time for them to get that thing going. Teacher's Pests. Okay. We found a Burst Lightning. Certainly don't care about taking 1 damage here. Bogwater Lumerette. Okay. Let's kill that thing. I'll keep the Outburst for like a potential 3 toughness creature, you know? Also, I can use the Vibrant Outburst to tap down the Trudge next turn to just keep myself alive. I do have a couple of bounce spells, which is nice. It looks like they're using a Burrog Barrage. Okay, take 1. Sadly, the Stress Stream doesn't deal with the Trudge. This is kind of annoying. Do I need the Rubble Rouser? I don't think so. Let's just do that. Okay. Oh, Run Behind. Incredible find. Red, black, blue, white. I can do this for 4. I can also wait and just cast Run Behind now. I'm gonna just do Run Behind for now. Like, it's not as important if you can't get, like, all the cards out of their hand, because they're still gonna keep their best cards, you know? Pest Mascot, okay. Oh, they didn't want it? Sure. Okay, I'm gonna kill this and try to find a land. Because I have the Improvisation Capstone. Try to keep the board reasonable. Pestbrood Sloth, sure. So, another interesting spot. I feel like when in doubt, you should always play out the Capstone, though. So we'll go with that. Oh, we hit Wander off. That's great. Pestbrood Sloth down. And yeah, I mean, it's really hard to grind through the Capstone. Oh, never mind. Professor Delianfell certainly helps with that. Okay, they gain some life. Let's cast it. Ooh, it can deal damage to Planeswalkers. That's good. Oh, sure. Okay, got some cards. Play this. Actually, I don't even know if I wanted to play this, because I have the Rubble Rouser. Alright. Top deck mode here. Wow, great draw. Okay. I mean, again, this is all good, but I'm hoping that the Capstone gets it done here. Professor Delianfell, obviously very nice. No! I gotta stop hitting these stupid cards! Ugh. Oh, God. That sucks. It's my late game. My late game. I hit Mind into Matter. Yeah, I mean, this is like the worst Capstone deck ever. It's still a good card, but like I have Counterspell, Mind into Matter, Arcane Omens, and Divergent Equation, right? Like I have 4 spells that are just horrible with it. So I'm very likely to hit one of those as I'm doing this. Now, I also feel like I have so much mana to the point where I can probably utilize this treasure here to surveil off the Paradoxical Gardens.
The right spell turns poison to medicine.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly putting up a good fight here. All right, what do we got? Don't want the island. Don't want the swamp either. Holy smokes. Okay. They might just emblem me now with the Professor Delian Fell. Alternatively, they can just kill Tackle Artist, which is also very good. Yeah.
Be gone from my presence.
Got a block here. Probably a spell. No, it's a land. Okay. Come on. I don't know what it is I need. I need a lot of things. I need many things. Okay. Hydro Channeler, Elemental Mascot. Not quite what we're looking for. Okay, you know, this I'm just gonna chalk this up to not enough ways to win. We'll chalk this up to not enough ways to win. Maybe we need to go with the Fractal Mascot just because it's large. Yeah, I just look. I mean, I suppose I needed to play out that Arcane Omens earlier because the Professor Delian Fell single-handedly beat us here. It's not even like my... I mean, they had a good draw with the Professor Delian Fell, but I don't know, you know, it's like certainly a beatable if I could find some kind of answer here. Yeah, I think we're just... I literally just don't think we have enough ways to win here. All right. Maybe we'll make an adjustment. Look, we won 3 matches in a row, right? You know, it's just... we just needed to find like a Visionary's Dance or something like that. But yeah, let's make the adjustment here. All right, opponent on the play here. We're going to be once again leaning on our Seize the Spoils to get us out of this. Another Witherbloom Gamer might be my only weakness. Or maybe it's just one of many. I'll take both. If they have a last gasp, certainly the Glassrite might die. Adventurous Eater, sure. Alright, so we're going to Seize the Spoils here. What to discard? Let's do that. So, I mean, the idea here is if they choose to pump with the Adventurous Eater, we'll take the 4. We do have Stress Stream here. I do want to ramp into the Capstone if possible. Okay. But we're going to have to wait on that. The reason why I didn't attack is I wanted them to use a mana there that way. But perhaps that's not great. Oh my gosh. Mozio Veins Nudine. It's a good Magic card. Alright, I mean, Seize the Spoils was fine here because that does allow us to make a lot more treasures to be able to run out the Capstone, which is what I'm interested in doing. This attack is very weird. Is it another Foolish Fate? That's been happening a lot in this run. That's not great. Okay. So let's go... Seize the Spoils, discard Mountain, drew some more lands, then play the land, and pass. Pass Mascot, sure. Okay. It's a lot of damage coming in. I think I should just play Fractal Mascot here for a turn. They might have a removal spell, but I just feel like this is just like a little bit safer, right? I get to keep the Past Mascot locked down. If they have another Foolish Fate, that's obviously not great. If they had one, they probably want to wait until their turn. They could have a Wander Off here. But this is me just trying to keep my board a little bit cleaner, because they can't attack with the ground creature either. I do have Divergent Equation, but that might not be great here. Let's see. I can get back... No, let's just play this. Alright, come on! Wander off. That's perfectly great. This does the most damage to me. Okay, I'm gonna kill past mascot. The reason being is... this way I'm at 5 life. They can't kill me with the other things, right? So even if they get the mascot off the battlefield, I go down to 1. Shadelock. Okay, we're dead. Well, try to make a good run here. Oh, it's not ready yet. It's not prepared yet. Okay. No, we still have a chance. Okay. Oh, I thought this comes prepared right away. There's a turn window. Okay, this is a big draw. Okay, Elemental Mascot into Improvisation Technique or Capstone. Okay. Arcane Omens does stone nothing. There's a Hydro Channeler. Okay, that's an extra blocker. This is a flyer. So I definitely want that. So I have access to 6 mana, so I can get one thing back and cast like a Vibrant Outburst or something if they try to go for it. Gosh, this is rough. I guess we'll do this. If they have a kill spell for the mascot, I guess that also kills us. Or a bite spell of some kind. What does that do? Draws them a card? Okay. Alright. They're just immediately putting it in and playing another one. Okay. This is still a lot to fight through. A lot. But we've had Capstone going for a few turns. So of course. Of course. Oh, I don't think I could have drafted a worse Improvisation Capstone deck. I really don't. Oh my gosh. This is incredible. This is a special Improvisation Capstone deck. A truly special one. Does it give it Death Touch? Oh, yeah. Okay. They'll get the Adventurous Eater back. Yeah, I mean, hitting those big cards. I mean, honestly, maybe playing the mascot wasn't great. Just because... Maybe playing the mascot wasn't great just because... I wasn't able to Divergent Equation for more. So that can certainly be a thing. Alright, and they can get back Adventurous Eater here as well. Or another Teacher's Pet. Pest, rather. Okay. Run behind. I do like that. Let's cast it here on the Shadelock. There's a land for turn. I'm at 2 life. What happens if I attack with Fractal Mascot and the Mascot? That'll give me 3 blockers. But the thing is, if they put a counter here, then and attack with everything, then I'm dead. Like, I'm trying to put some amount of pressure on my opponent, but it's just very difficult. There's the Shade Lock. They don't really have good attacks here. They can just get another Pest Mascot onto the battlefield here. Okay, and we gotta dig. We gotta find what we need. I will keep Impractical Joke. Certainly. Okay, Capstone. Okay. We got 3 cards left. Still digging. 2 cards left. That's another Hydro Channeler. Okay. Now what? Now, what is it that we do? We kill the flyer. Okay. They have a bite. So they have basically 4 attackers. They can make everything lethal. So I need 6 blockers total to not die. So I can attack here, of course. This is 6 blockers. So I can attack with one more thing. Fractal Mascot. Okay, let's get the Shade Lock out of here. They're at 17. We have another blocker. And we have 2 cards. I don't know how I'm going to kill them, though. I have 2 cards left. Grave Researcher. Uh-oh, they can reanimate? Man, we've just, like, decked ourselves both times and still... How are we not able to win after decking our opponents? You know? That is certainly sad. Elemental Mascot, and we know the last card. So we're not going to cast that card. We play this last turn. There's the Mascot. There's the Teacher's Pest. Yeah, we can't win. Oh, that's really disappointing. Tried to draft a fun deck with a bunch of X cards, but man, Improvisation Capstone with not enough targets. Look, this is what happens when you try to like push the limits into trying to find... Look, this deck never ran out of action and actually had decent interaction. The problem with this deck was it was an Improvisation Capstone deck that didn't really fully maximize on it because I had other really good expensive cards that didn't work super well with it, right? Also, I was missing kind of some of the ways to close out the game. I think one of the later packs in pack 1, I might have had the option to take a Visionary's Dance, and I should have. So this is... You got to stress test things, right? You got to see, all right, how can I pull off wins when I am severely lacking in actual ways to to close out games? Because the issue with what my deck was is that all I had were Elemental Mascots. This, of course, Opus doesn't work with the Capstone, and I just didn't have enough large things to kind of clean up the games, right? I had the Hypothesis, which also doesn't work with the Capstone, so it's not something that I wanted to play either. I really needed to just find, like, even if I could find like a Goblin Lorecaster, just some large thing to play would have helped out immensely, right? I don't think splashing Restoration Seminar was an option, but I do think maybe I should have played the Fractal Mascot. I didn't really realize just how big of a cost it was to play all of these X spells. I feel like I'm still supposed to. You know what I mean? Just because they're both really, really good in my deck. But if you are behind and you have Capstone going and you're leaning on this, obviously if that combination can end up being pretty weak. So, let this be a lesson. Right? This is a teaching moment here. We started off 3 in a row. It was looking really exciting, but it kind of fell apart there at the end because our opponents just had some good enough threats and we were not able to close the games in time before we decked ourselves. So perhaps this was another deck where I'm supposed to play more than 40 cards, especially if I'm trying to win all my games with the Capstone. right? Like, am I supposed to just, you know, just jam everything? I still don't want to play the Hypothesis though. But like, am I just supposed to play like a few more lands, right? And just play like a 45 card deck or something? It's certainly possible, right? It's certainly possible. Like that. These are things, especially because this format's so weird. Like, it's certainly possible to do things a little bit differently just because of how you can expect the games to play out. Like, I think 18 lands is certainly very defensible in a lot of decks. In this deck, I don't think so, with various ways to draw cards and ramp. But yeah, maybe I should have just played a few more cards. But I think the important thing was just during the course of the draft, finding actual ways to close out the games. And we weren't able to in this draft. And, we'll keep an eye out in future draft videos. But I thought this was a good experimentation. And we will try to do a little better in tomorrow's video to try to win some actual matches. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, as I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. If you've enjoyed this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Also, check out TCGplayer.com for all your Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product needs. You want to buy some booster boxes of Secrets of Strixhaven, or you wanted some singles for your standard, modern, Pioneer, or Commander decks, check out TCGplayer.com and make sure you hit that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Last but not least, go to HeavyPlay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. They are your one-stop shop for top-of-the-line deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, life pads, and much, much more. Go to HeavyPlay.com/paulcheon to get 10% off your first order. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.